What is going on, everybody? Today we're going to take a look at JC Latham as well as the Tennessee Titans offensive line. We're going to really analyze Latham, but I want to show you guys a couple of snaps from some of the other guys as well. We got some really nice plays coming out. Here's a beautiful play here by the center. You got Lloyd Cushenberry on this one, who's going to actually end up getting out in front on this screenplay, and he's going to do a phenomenal job. I mean, to me, I love the contact here by a really good center. Look at this. Look at the physicality on this one. The Tennessee Titans might have built a bully on the offensive line. I'm excited for this unit, man. Watching the tape of these guys really has me fired up because Peter Skronsky is a phenomenal football player, and we already knew that coming into this game, right? We already knew that coming into this season, that Peter Skronsky is going to be one of the best guards in the NFL. And JC Latham is one of the guys that a lot of people question. I think he's going to be a really good football player. And I think he's being coached by one of the best offensive line coaches in the NFL, and I think that's going to shore it up. I think JC Latham has already shown some improvements from even the first game that we saw him to now. The guy's doing a great job with the hands. He's doing a great job using that reach that he has, and I'm excited for this one, man. Let's just get right into the tape. Alrighty, guys, let's go ahead and just get right into it. I want to talk a little bit about the bully mindset that the Tennessee Titans offensive line was playing with. To me, watching this unit, especially against the Saints, and I understand it is some of the backups here for the Saints. In fact, I think it's mostly backups. But the mindset that the Tennessee Titans were playing with, that's not going to change. And you see plays like this right here. And just look at the leverage on this play. Now, you're going to see JC Latham as well as Peter Skronsky double team. Number 95 here, this is a backup defensive tackle. But look at as they make contact with this guy. And look at them drive this guy back like 4 to 5 yards. And then you see Peter Skronsky ends up burying him. And JC Latham kind of falls on top of this guy. I mean, that right there is an absolute beautiful block. And this play was 1st and 10. Takes up about 4.5, 5 yards. Just a really good job by the guys up front. And then on the very next play, you're going to get Nicholas Petit-Frere to also absolutely bully this defensive end here. This is Peyton Turner, who's a former first-round pick. I think he's in like year 3 or so. And you see Nicholas Petit here just straight up toss this guy. I mean, that's a beautiful job by him to be able to torque and toss this guy. And on this one, Pollard's going to pick up about 7 yards. Just a really good job. And then you also see the center, left guard, left tackle essentially have to reach on the 2 guys here. The center is going to do a great job as well. A great center. One of the better centers in the NFL. I mean, that reach block is absolutely phenomenal. I think one of the reasons why the Titans are going to have one of the best offense lines this year is not just the coaching. One of the things I've already stated in the past, if you guys watch my content, is that the Tennessee Titans are going to have one of the best offensive lines. It's just a matter of until that actually happens. It might be a year from now. It might even be this year. But they're going to have a top 5 offensive line. Coaching is easily the most important factor when it comes to O-line. There's a reason why the Browns have one of the best offensive lines. There's a reason why the Eagles have one of the best offensive lines. The Chiefs, the Niners. It comes down to the coaching. And to me, Bill Callahan is one of the best offensive line coaches. He's able to see guys. In the NFL, he's able to see guys in college, and he's able to recognize if those traits are going to translate. And Cushenberry here basically flips this entire play. The second this guy's able to get in front of number 97 here, the one technique, he's able to just flip the entire play, and the play works because of that block right there. Number 97 here has the responsibility of sticking inside this gap here. But you're going to see that the center is going to be able to just get right in front of him. And with that, that's exactly where the running back's going to essentially cut this off of. All right, so that's a really good job right there by Tony Pollard to be able to see it. Let's get into the next snap. All right, guys, check this play out. Watch the left guard on this one. Skronsky's going to absolutely toss his defensive tackle. Beautiful job. Now, he does obviously end up tripping over the offensive lineman. But regardless of that, man, you see that power to still push this guy, right? And he's able to kind of get him off balance before he even ends up slipping and falling. And that right there is a beautiful job. Also got to give credit here to JC Latham because he has a reach block. Very difficult block on this one. But he does a good job being able to get in front of this guy. And you see him set up perfectly on the left side of the linebacker on this one. This play scores a touchdown if the right tackle does a little bit of a better job. Keep an eye on the right tackle here. He does a good job initially with the block. But then he's not able to steal himself up to the inside of number 28. Had he been able to steal 28, this would have been a touchdown in my opinion. Not a big deal. Let's get into the next snap. You guys check this next play out. You're going to pick up 6 yards on this one. And the offensive linemen do a phenomenal job. I mean, pretty much every single one of the guys up front here do a beautiful job. Now, I don't want to overlook the coaching elements of this because, to me, to be able to get 5 guys, including the tight ends, 6 guys, to be able to do exactly what's kind of expected on this play, and for all of them to do it properly, for all of them to process and do it the exact way that it's drawn up is incredible. So on this play here, it's a pin pull concept. So the tight end's going to block number 57, as well as the tackle's going to block down on the defensive tackle there. You're going to get Skronsky to pull out front, as well as the center. Both guys are going to pull out in front. And then on the backside, you're going to need to get 2 guys to essentially get in front of these 2 guys and essentially cut those guys off. Now, Dylan Reduns is a really, really good guard, and Petit Fryer has shown some upside. So both of these guys, from a coaching perspective, you see the right guard gets in front of this guy here. You'll see Petit Fryer ends up getting in front of 58. So those 2 guys right there do their job. And then if you look at the center left guard on this one, the center is going to pull out in front, as is the left guard. Keep an eye on those 2 guys. Watch how they pass off 47 here. You're going to see Peter Skronsky put the right hand on 47, and he's going to allow the center who's behind him to take number 47. Beautiful job processing right there between those 2 guys. Beautiful job by Skronsky to be able to recognize that it doesn't make sense for him to take this first guy, because then that's going to make it hard for the center to continue to get around him or go up to the second level. It makes sense for him to pass it off, but to me, this is a coaching element right here. This is something that Bill Callahan has come in and taught these guys. That when you're getting out in front of guys and there's a guy behind you, the first guy you give to the guy behind you, right? To me, that's a beautiful job right there. And then as the center takes 47, Skronsky gets up to number 31. I mean, it does not get better than that, right? That's absolutely incredible right there by those 2 guys. And then on top of that, if you keep an eye on JC Latham, the left tackle is going to block down on the 3 technique, and then look at the power, the physicality. Look at him turn number 95, and then he straight up just holds the block right there. It doesn't get better than that either, right? To me, you want this guy to go underneath you, essentially. You want to be able to turn him. That's exactly what Latham does on this one. The power by Latham on this one is beautiful. That's exactly what you want to see right there. Let's go ahead and get into the next snap. Alrighty, guys, check this play out. Watch JC Latham in Pass Pro and watch the hands. The hands absolutely perfect in terms of how they land. You know what's interesting about this is there's a video that I was watching a couple years back with Joe Thomas, who was talking about how the hands are supposed to land in his opinion. And this is exactly what he talked about. To him, the outside hand should land in the chest plate, and the inside hand should land to the outside of the arm or the shoulder pad of the defensive end. And that's exactly what ends up happening on this one. You see the left hand lands to the chest plate, the right hand lands to the shoulder pad. To me, this is absolutely perfect technique by Latham. And with that, you can also tell that the defensive end is not going to be able to go through Latham. He has that power. He has that physicality to really anchor down. It's one of the things that he had going for him in college was he has a good foundation, right? Lower body strength, great foundation, great footwork to really drop the anchor. So that's a good job right there. Let's get into the next snap. Alrighty, guys, you got another one here. Once again, same technique in Pass Pro, but this time the defensive end's going to try to actually pull him forward. And he's going to do a great job dropping the hands, essentially resetting the footwork and just kind of getting back in front of it. So this is one of those things that some offensive tackles have to learn this. Some offensive tackles, when they make contact with guys, will start to kind of lean into it a little bit. And the defensive lineman will pull you forward because you're leaning. And they'll utilize your leverage and how you're kind of leaning into the defensive end against you. But on this one, Latham does a great job. Left hand's going to land perfect to the inside. Right hand is going to come around to the shoulder pad again. Just a great job once again with the technique. To me, beautiful, beautiful job. But the thing that sticks out to me is the defensive end with the left hand is going to try to pull Latham forward. So you see it right there. He's trying to pull him forward. He's trying to get him off balance. And notice how Latham lets go. He's going to reset the hands, reset the feet, sticks right in front of it. I mean, that right there does not get better than that. This is how you win a rep. Again, I understand this is a backup defensive lineman, but again, the technique, the potential leaning into guys, getting pulled forward, that could carry into a regular season no matter who you're going up against. So I like the small things that Latham's doing right now because this over time will allow him to translate. And the thing with preseason is, Latham might give up 7 sacks this year, right? There's a chance he's going to give up pressures and sacks and quarterback hits against the number 1 guys. But the thing to always remember is the small things always carry forward. Last year, I remember watching Peter Skronsky, and I said, this guy's a phenomenal guard. And it was the small things that he was doing on tape that allowed me to feel like that. And with Latham, he's pretty much doing the same exact thing, right? You're seeing the small things on tape. You're seeing the physicality on tape. I mean, look at this. Look at how he's able to double team with Skronsky on this one. And look at them absolutely move number 91. 91 does a good job dropping down to the knee to try to get that leverage. Doesn't really work. And Latham, of course, is able to get off that. He climbs up to 58. He does a pretty good job making contact with 58. This play picks up 6 yards. Alright, you guys, check this play out. You got a little bit of confusion on this one by the left tackle. Latham's going to block downwards while the rest of the offensive line is going to block towards the right. But it's not just Latham that ends up making a mistake on this one. You'll also notice the running back is also going to go to that same side. So the running back's going to go to the left as well. And as is Latham. So again, something happened on this one. It's not a big deal. There was obviously some sort of miscommunication. Just wanted to point it out. Let's get into the next snap. Alright, guys, check this next play out. You're going to get the defensive line game over here by the Saints defensive line. And Latham does a phenomenal job picking it up. Skronsky does a phenomenal job passing it off. And to me, this is smart football by the left side of the offensive line. From center to left tackle, I think the Titans have found their guys. Even at right guard, I think the right guard in Redun's is a phenomenal guard. Honestly, right guard to left tackle, I think these guys are phenomenal. Right tackle still going to be a little bit of a question mark. I think Nicholas Petit-Frere has shown some upside. We'll see how the season kind of plays out. If he does end up being the 100% starter, I think that is the expectations at the moment. But I love how they pass the game off on this side because Peter Skronsky's smart, right? He's going to see this right away. And Skronsky's going to get both hands on number 91, and he's not going to allow the rookie to get into a bad spot. He's going to make sure that number 91 is not able to gain the leverage. Because what this defensive lineman is trying to do, he's trying to attack the inside shoulder of JC Latham. Essentially, he's trying to get this guy off balance and pushed over here to the side. And if number 91 truly does set up to the inside, well, when 55 comes around and Peter Skronsky has to take 51, that means 91 gets a release towards the quarterback, essentially, because of the fact that he's on the inside shoulder of Latham. But Skronsky doesn't allow that to happen. He makes sure to fully pass him off so Latham can get back towards the inside. And they pass that off perfectly. I mean, it doesn't get better than that, man. Such a great job by that side of the offensive line. Let's go ahead and get into the next snap. You're going to get a zone run here. Keep an eye on the left guard. Left guard is going to absolutely turn number 91. And look at the movement. I mean, that is perfect. You're gonna get 5 yards on this one. Skronsky, phenomenal player, man. I'm so excited to watch this guy going into this year. He was my #1 interior offensive lineman coming out last year. And Peter Skronsky looks absolutely phenomenal. Let's get into the next snap. You got another one here. Watch the physicality by the left guard, left tackle. Beautiful job right there to just be able to be physical at the point of attack. And Latham's the guy that's going to release up to the second level. And he does a nice job being able to release. And he gets his hands on 58. Great job by Latham. Let's get into the next snap. You're going to get Latham once again to utilize that same technique that we've already talked about with the hands. I do want to note that it's important for Latham to not strike at the same time with both hands. Right, it's important that the left hand goes first. And you do see that on this one, right? The left hand lands first, then the right hand comes second. And that's very, very important. Because if both hands come at the same time and number 55 swats with his inside arm to Latham's right arm, well, what ends up happening is 55 then gains inside leverage. So perfect technique once again, right? Very, very important for that to happen. He's able to essentially shut this down, keep the quarterback clean. Overall, JC Latham looks really, really good for the Tennessee Titans. And I'm excited to see how this guy kind of progresses over the course of his career. You know, I always say this. People will not agree with me on this. But an offensive lineman's success, a lot of the time, does rely on the offensive line coach. Right? A lot of it's going to come down to how the guy develops, how the guy's able to kind of improve, and how a coach is able to get the bad habits that a guy might have and kind of get him coached out. You see on this one here, he's going to actually end up getting long-armed a little bit by 55. 55 does a good job attacking that left hand. He's going to do a good job attacking the left hand. And then his left arm gets into Latham. And then look at this. He's able to kind of long-arm him a little bit. Not a big deal, right? I just have to kind of learn to counter and figure out how to make sure he doesn't get long-armed. But that's really all you can do with the way Latham's hands kind of land, right? So it's a good job right there by Latham. You see there's just a couple plays left. And I just want to show you guys the rest of the snaps. And we pretty much looked at most of Latham's snaps. And he does look really, really good. As is the Tennessee Titans offensive line. To me, these guys are going to be one of the best offensive lines this year. And I think the Titans are going to be one of the best teams this year, generally speaking. Great O-line. a coach who's really, really smart, knows how to design offenses, and a young quarterback going into his second year that looked honestly like one of the better quarterbacks of the last draft. You can make the argument CJ Stroud was the best, but some people will make that argument for Will Levis, especially going into this year. We'll see what ends up happening. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, consider subscribing. We will be covering the Tennessee Titans this year. My goal is to get at least 2 videos in for the Titans every single month. We will get into Devontae Sweat a little bit later on. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time with another video.